Welcome to your deep dive. Today, well, we're looking at Amazon. They're definitely making waves. I mean, the stock's around, what, $217? But that's not really the headline here. The big news, the monumental thing, is they've actually done it. Amazon has officially overtaken Walmart, became the largest retailer in the US. That's huge.
It really is a landmark moment, you could say, a real shift in retail. We're seeing estimates. JP Morgan put out a report suggesting Amazon's U.S. merchandise sales could hit, get this, $593 billion this year.
Yeah.
That just pips Walmart's projected $573 billion. So it's not just e-commerce leadership anymore. It's overall U.S. retail dominance. It changes everything about how goods move.
Wow. $593 billion. That's
right.
Yeah, that's reshaping commerce right there. So what's the engine behind this? What are the analysts pointing to? You see people like Doug Anmuth raising targets to $240. What's driving that confidence?
Right. Well, analysts like Anmuth see this incredibly resilient structure Amazon's built. It feeds itself, really. They usually highlight three core things. First, Prime. The growth there is powerful. Prime members just stick around. They spend more.
Okay, Prime. Makes sense.
Second, their delivery ecosystem. It's just unparalleled, makes Prime work so well. And third, you've got the momentum in AWS.
Amazon Web Services, the cloud computing part. High margin too, right?
Exactly. Hugely profitable. And that's key.
It sounds like a feedback loop they've built. Prime users feed data, AWS uses that, AWS powers the logistics. It all connects.
That's a great way to put it, a virtuous cycle. It's that synergy. And, this ambition isn't just domestic. They're taking this global, huge investments overseas. Look at the UK. They just announced a massive $40 billion investment.
40 billion pounds. That's what, over $50 billion US?
Something like that, yeah. Around $54 billion. And it's targeted, expanding data centers, logistics, and especially AWS infrastructure. Big focus on supporting AI and cloud computing needs over there.
So they're laying down the tracks for the future, essentially. Investing in the infrastructure for AI, for cloud, basically owning the rails for whatever comes next globally. That's thinking long term.
Precisely. It's about owning that foundation.
Yeah.
But it's not all smooth sailing. Despite these massive moves, there's always the other side, right? Regulation. The bigger they get.
Right. The regulatory spotlight gets brighter.
Exactly. So, for instance, the UK's grocery watchdog, they're actually investigating Amazon right now.
Investigating what?
Allegations of delaying payments to local suppliers. Supposedly between 2022 and looking ahead to 2025.
Okay. Has that hit the stock much?
Not significantly, not yet, but it's definitely something to watch.
Yeah, for you listening, whether you invest or just follow tech, it's a reminder. These regulatory pressures, they don't just disappear as companies expand. How big a deal could this UK thing become for their reputation, their strategy?
Well, it highlights that balancing act, doesn't it? Aggressive growth versus playing by all the local rules. While this specific probe might not tank the stock tomorrow, it signals that kind of scrutiny is only going to increase. These things can slow down plans, force changes in how they operate, especially internationally.
Okay, so summing up then, Amazon's powering ahead.
Yeah.
Tech giant, retail giant, leading in the US, investing heavily in AI, cloud, logistics globally. The bullish forecasts, like that $240 target, still seem plausible given the core strength.
That's the picture, yes. Strong core, clear global ambitions.
So it really is a pivotal time. You've got this huge strategic expansion, these future-focused investments, but you also have this growing regulatory friction. It's a dynamic mix. So the question for you is, what do you think will be the defining factor for Amazon going forward? Is it going to be their innovation and investment, or will it be navigating these global regulatory challenges? Something to think about.